Appendix 3, New Techniques. There is no mountain. Set the intention to watch yourself and ask yourself questions. In the book, The Priestess of Itfat, a very clear method was given. In order to wake up in a dream, you need to ask questions. As soon as something is wrong, something is not good, something oppresses you, something is somehow uncomfortable, catch yourself at that moment and ask yourself, what are you thinking about? Are you building a mountain? Are you afraid of some event? At this moment, you woke up and mastered yourself and the situation. And now you have 3 solutions to your problem all at once, which most likely is not a problem at all. 1. Translate negative thoughts into positive ones. 2. Set the event you want, preferably with a braid plate. 3. Tell yourself there is no mountain and calmly walk on the plain. As we would say in English, we're making a mountain out of a molehill. The principle of there is no mountain, if you follow it, can be considered one of the most powerful techniques of the modern age. Before saying to yourself there is no mountain, it will be advisable to perform omnipotence. Isimagu. Exhale intensively through your nose and imagine how the blast wave bursts out of your body and scatters, up, down, and to the sides. The blast wave is made of some substance, energy, air, or something else. It doesn't matter what, as long as it's what resonates with you. Pay special attention to your shoulders, how the wave spreads out of your shoulders, but in any case, do it in the way that works for you. Initiate such an inflating on the plane of your body with the exhalation. If you can't feel the explosion on all sides, do it again. And as many times as it's comfortable, at least on the sides of your shoulders. At the same time, say aloud or silently the thought form, I am free, or I could do anything. You can repeat inflating yourself several times in a row with similar thought forms. For example, everything is available to me. There are no boundaries. Do not be afraid of the word no. The main thing is to put meaning into the thought form. So as long as your thought form brings an authenticity, a truth to you, we don't have to worry about that subconscious issue with no, because we're going with the feeling. So after that, tell yourself the mountain does not really exist, and then everything will turn out much easier, simpler, and more successful. Highlighting the target frame from the state of Evermogu. The target frame is the end result of what you want to achieve, how you imagine it, in thoughts, words, or images. How you do it best, a short clot, wording, or picture of your intention. Before setting the target frame, you must first clearly and concisely formulate your intention in your head. That is what you want. 1. Enter a state of comfort and tranquility. 2. Blow up or expand your biofield. Pronounce the thought form, I can do anything. 3. Set the target frame from the new state. Target frame backlight with pigtail. A person has an archaic rudiment, the braid of intention, an energy plexus between the shoulder blades on the back. It's also called the plate. It is not visible, but you are able to feel it like a phantom part of the body, which once it was. But it seems to exist now, and it can be restored, trained, and developed. The braid or plate is activated by slightly rising at an angle to the back when you pay attention there. In an active state, the tip of the braid falls into the so-called assemblage point, where the energy meridians of the human biofield converge. It's located behind the shoulder blades at about an elbow's distance from the back. There's no need to ask questions about the exact location of the braid or plate and its structure. The braid is so called not because it is an energetic analog of an ordinary hair braid. It should not be presented literally in the form of the braid. Geometry and exact location do not matter. Only the feeling behind the back matters. So this is emphasized about 30 times here. This plait or braid is first really brought into focus in Tufti the Priestess. And in that book, it was more precisely described. I believe over time, Vadim, working with people, has found that in different people, our attention is going to be resonant in different spots. What he's emphasizing is give yourself the permission to feel what your body connects to. Imagine how convenient it is for you. Someone finds it convenient to imagine that it comes out of the back of the head. Someone from the back, in between the shoulder blades. Someone even imagines it as a hump that rises at the moment of activation. What you are required to catch are the sensations of the presence of something behind your back. This is about bringing into our world back awareness. That awareness of the back is allowing our consciousness to go into the mystery, into the infinite, into the source. So where we connect to it precisely on our back doesn't matter. It's the attention being able to fall back there. Sensory perception can be very individual. Imagine that something is heaving between your shoulder blades. Initiate the sensation, preferably while exhaling. For example, can you lift your chest? Breathe in, take a shallow breath. Your chest rises, right? Now exhale and imagine that the air is coming straight out of the chest. Do you have a feeling? And now, as you exhale, imagine that the air is coming out of your back. Something is coming out. Something is heaving there behind your shoulder blades. Catch this sensation and evoke it intentionally. Practice it until it becomes clear. So keep repeating this until it becomes normal and regular, until this sensation is part of who you are, until you can bring it up on command. Train yourself with an exhale to activate the braid as something heaving behind your back. And accustom yourself to throw off this feeling at will. You know how to do it. You just forgot. If you don't feel the braid, train this feeling, evoke it intentionally, the feeling of the presence of something behind your back. You can at least attach a clothespin there for a while, something to kinesthetically bring you into it. The target frame is the end result of what you want to achieve, how you imagine it in thoughts, words, or images, how you do it best. A short slide of your intention, words or pictures of your intention. Before setting the target frame, you must first clearly and concisely formulate your intention in your mind, what it is and what you want. Algorithm. 1. Enter the presence. Pay attention to what the attention is doing. Take it under control. In other words, be aware. Pay attention. Be present. 2. Activate the braid. Because we've already gone through the exercises, it's easy for you to do it. You've practiced it. And without letting go of the sensation from it, set the target frame in thoughts, words, images, feeling. 3, throw off the feeling from the braid. 4, if the event is significant, if this means something to you, repeat this several times. You should set the frame quickly enough, as long as you can keep your concentration. Execute the illumination algorithm calmly and naturally. There's no need to strain. By making an effort, you engage inner intention. Reality is controlled by the external. The braid can be activated not only at the assembly point behind the shoulder blades, but at the spirit point above the back of the head. Remember, that's when we talked about cone heads. The main rule, attention is focused at the point of activation, one of the two, either assembly between the shoulder blades or spirit, cone head, and remains there while you set reality with the other remaining parts of attention, chewing bubblegum and walking. For those who do not feel the braid, this is if you have a low sensitivity to energy as it happens, or if you're not kinesthetically aware yet, or if your energy levels are not high enough yet, keep focusing on the physical exercises. They'll help a ton. There are people, for example, who are not visual, who do not succeed in the visualization. In this case, you need to use thought forms. They also work. And in your case, you need to use energy, but also attention, and it also works. The braid can be replaced by attention. So even if you don't feel it, but the energy is going to rush there no matter what, whether or not you're feeling it, your attention on it will make the energy connect. So number one, enter the presence. Pay attention to what your attention is occupied by. Take control of it. Stop letting the world pull you around by the nose. Two, just fix your attention on the point about an elbow distance or less behind your shoulder blades. So you activate the braid, leaving part of your attention on this point as if you have a clothespin there, or maybe you may have a clothespin there. With the other part of your attention, set the target frame in thoughts, words, or images. Number three, for your attention. Enhanced braid technique. One, take the presence. Pay attention to where your attention is, what it is doing, and take control of it. Take ownership, take responsibility, be present. Two, activate the braid. If it comes out of the back of your head, raise it at an angle to the back so that its tip points to the assembly point behind the shoulder blades. If it comes out of your back, raise it horizontally so its tip again points to the assemblage point. What does it mean that the tip of the braid points to the assemblage point? It means that you focus your attention on this point and fix it there for the time of the illumination of the frame. If you have already trained your energy enough, then you should also experience physical sensations. They can be different. They're individual, for example, as if something is heaving behind the shoulder blades. Simultaneously with the previous point, pull a beam or an arrow or an upward flow vertically from the top of your head. In this way, you will have one part of your attention at the assembly point and the other at the vertical ray. 4. Holding the arrows, one back, the other up. Set the target frame in thoughts, words, or images. This will take the third remaining part of the attention. You should set the frame quickly enough, within a few seconds. 5. As you exhale, turn the rear arrow vertically downward and actively direct the upper arrow upward, accelerating the ascending and descending flows, as was done in energy gymnastics. 6. Reset all sensations and free your attention. Not emphasized nearly enough, especially in the consciousness community, ironically, the ability for us to focus, self-discipline, and maintaining that focus is an insanely powerful muscle for us to use. So this may seem that everything is complicated, but this is only still readable. It is a lot simpler. So you pull two hands simultaneously back and up and fix it. So lock it in. You could do it like on the dial, which shows 9 o'clock. The rear hand comes out of the back or out of the head, as whichever one works for you. Turn the hands as if at 6 o'clock while exhaling. This action helps to disperse the flow and launch the intention into the universe. The spirit point is not used here, but this technique works more powerfully than the usual technique with the plait or braid. If you feel comfortable and powerful in this technique, then it can be yours personally. Focusing on oneself. Stand up straight, tilting your head down slightly, and direct the ray of attention to the floor as you exhale. You will feel this ray literally stretching from your eyes to the floor at a 45-degree angle. Then pull the beam back into your eyes as you inhale while raising your head to look straight. Fix this position for a few seconds, or at least 2. Then release the sensation. Free your eyes and your attention. You will notice at that moment you are not thinking about anything. Your attention was closed on itself. So you have taken the first step on the path of assembling into yourself. It's not difficult at all. Spirit access point. Scan the sector behind your back in the plane of the spine with the beam of attention. You can find 2 points that are clearly felt, one behind the shoulder blades and the other also behind and above the back of the head, at an angle of about 45 degrees. The distance does not matter. Do not think about it, just feel. You can count about half a meter, 1.5 feet for us Americans, give or take. The sensations are individual. The first point behind the shoulder blades is the focus point, or as it is also called, assembly point, where the energy meridians converge. The tip of the braid falls there at the moment of activation. And the second, which is behind and above the back of the head, is just the access point to the spirit. If you own a braid, it will not be difficult to find. Lift the braid at a 45-degree angle above the back of your head so that it is behind and above it, and fix it there for a while. Then release this feeling. I know you can do it. If you don't have a braid, imagine a ray of attention that comes out of your back between your shoulder blades and back horizontally. The arrow will point to the energy assembly. Now turn this arrow up to the point of access to the spirit. Move the arrow back and forth like a wiper on glass. Another option is the arrow comes out of the back of the head. If you feel better, this arrow can also move back and forth between points. It does not matter where the beam comes from. The point at which it focuses matters. You can also move the arrow around the entire sector behind your back. Feel how it first hangs to the tailbone, and then turn it up so that it points to a point behind you and above you. Move. Feel. If the sensations are weak or elusive, you will have to practice, as with the braid. Algorithm. 1. Starting position. The arrow from the shoulder blades or from the back of the head hangs down to the coccyx. 2. With the power of thought, intention, lift it up at an upward angle. Fix it for a while. 3. Lower the arrow down and reset the feeling. It is mandatory to reset the sensation. That is, to lower the arrow and shake off the attention from there. Otherwise, your arrow, your braid, your plate may jam. Interface to the spirit. Stretch your attention from the back of your head up and back at an angle of about 45 degrees. Now, what does it mean to stretch your attention? This is a phantom sensation that you initiate with intention. Imagine that a ray is stretched out of the back of your head, or an arrow, or air is blown out, or some substance comes out. It doesn't matter what it is. Do it as you imagine, whatever works for you, and feel better. So you're going to move this ray of attention back and forth, farther and closer. Feel the access point. As soon as you feel it, it will immediately feel a certain flow of something pouring into you. Fix this feeling for a while, then drop it, let go, and rest. Those who work with the braid may find it more convenient to move not the beam, but the braid, which is fundamentally not different. The ray can also be imagined coming out from the back of the head, but from the back between the shoulder blades, whichever one is more convenient. In general, it does not matter what and from it's coming out of. The main thing is to fix where the end of it is, where the beam stops in a kind of stationary, stable position. Play with these sensations for now. Although they're phantom, they are quite tangible. Do not strain and do not escalate the importance of this action. Just perform it casually from time to time during the day or week, when you remember, literally in passing, without any effort or expectation. Just try to do it sometimes in different environments and situations and notice your feelings. The most important thing here is to remove all importance and just play for once. Don't forget to reset the sensation every time. Remove the ray and free your attention. It's that simple. Turn off the toy when you're done playing. It's also necessary to continue to proclaim the declaration of intent, I awaken in my spirit. Also without any importance, but decisively, sometimes from time to time, but systematically. So do this regularly. Technique for entering a state of unity with the spirit. 1. Enter the presence. Pay attention to what it is doing and take control of it. 2. Close your attention to yourself. Slightly tilt your head down and direct the ray of attention to the floor. Draw the ray back into your eyes, at the same time raising your head to look straight. In this way, you turn from an observer of attention into attention itself. I am attention itself. 3. Establish contact with the access point. Raise, turn direct. the ray of attention from the point of spirit at an angle of approximately 45 degrees behind and above the back of the head. 4. To relieve the sensation, to free attention. The third point is how to do it and how we're going to do it at your discretion. What's the most convenient for you? And there are different options. How are you going to do it? Is it a ray or an arrow or braid if you have it? First, hang it down along the back. The length does not matter. How to do it? You're going to lift, you're going to turn, or you're going to direct it up. Where do they come from? The ray, arrow, or braid come out of the back of the head or from the back between the shoulder blades. Where do they hit? In certain stationary points behind and above the back of the head, it must be felt. Distance does not matter, only sensation matters. Do it as you imagine and feel better. You can also do it directly without any arrows, air, or a cloud that's blown out of the back of your head, or some substance comes out and establishes contact with the access point. In contact, you will feel a certain flow of something flowing into you. So that's what he said about 6 times. Pay attention when you feel something, wake up, connect, feel different. You know you started to connect to it. It does not matter if the sensations are weak. After a little training, they will intensify. You still need to practice, only don't strain. This is actually a letting go practice, not a contractive. Do not hang in the state of spirit for a long time. After you've fixed yourself, observed yourself and your surroundings, or done what's necessary, you need to reset the sensation. Let go of contact, free your attention. Everything should be under your control. As you practice, you'll find that all 3 actions can be merged into one. For example, you draw a ray into your eyes, at the same time entering the presence, and pull it out of the back of your head upward. Once there is contact through that, you're going to experiment with common techniques. You can discover your own unique technique that is right for you because we are all different. Sensations are largely individual. Not everyone can feel a surge of energy as if something fills you when you enter the state of spirit. Don't worry about that. The energy will increase in any case. Continue doing the practice from time to time, in different situations and settings, literally along the way, and the results will come. Those who have practiced systematic entry into the state of spirit have already noticed that it does not pass without a trace. Some particle of power remains with you and joins you. For example, calm, confidence, determination, a sense of your power may appear, which you did not have before. In this way, you can develop and accumulate all those useful abilities and qualities that a short-term state of unity with the Spirit gives, only on a permanent basis. Highlight target frame with Spirit. The target shot is the end result that you want to achieve. How you imagine it in thoughts, words, or images, and how you do it the best. A short clot of your attention. Before setting the target frame, you must first clearly and concisely formulate your intention in your mind. What it is, what you want. Technique for entering the state of spirit. 1. Enter the state of spirit. 2. Send a short slide or feeling of your intention into reality. The target frame in thoughts, words, and/or images. 3. Relieve the sensation. Remember to turn it off. The main rule: attention closes in on itself and is focused on the point of the spirit above the back of the head, while you set reality with the other remaining part of attention. Technique without entering the state of spirit. 1. Enter the presence. Pay attention to what the attention is doing. Take it under control. 2. Transfer attention to a point above the back of the head, and keeping attention at this point, set the intention, your target frame. 3. Remember to turn it off. Relieve the sensation. Another option. Attention is held simultaneously by 2 rays, or just 2 contacts, in the assemblage point behind the shoulder blade and at the spirit point. If you manage to do this, and you can do so, experiment with both versions of contact, with the assemblage point, the spirit point, or both. Whatever is more comfortable for you and which you feel more power is the one you should go with. Phantom skull technique. Imagine that your head is stretched back and up from the back of your head at an angle of about 45 degrees. How far it stretches is not important to you. If you can't imagine or the sensations are weak, then do not imagine, but initiate the stretching of the head intentionally. This is quite in your power. You will feel how your eyes seem to be pressed inward, and the brain is pushed back towards the back of your head. There's no need to strain, do it freely and naturally. Do a few such movements of the phantom skull, back and forth. What does it give? Another effective technique for entering the state of unity with the spirit. The algorithm here is simple. 1. Enter the presence. Pay attention to what it's doing and take control of it. 2. Draw the ray or cloud from the eyes inside and pull it back and up along with the skull. Fix it for a while and feel what you feel at the same time. 3. Return the phantom skull back and free your attention. In the second point, closing your attention on yourself and entering the access point to spirit are combined into one action. In a calm state, a cloud of energy comes out of the eyes. Of course, 2 clouds from both eyes, but we say a cloud or a ray. Your task is to draw it inward, at the same time pulling it toward the back of your head, back and up at an angle of 45 degrees, so that the phantom skull stretches out to the point of the spirit. If you like this technique and are comfortable, you can use it in everyday practice. If it causes discomfort, use another one. Increased power. While taking a contrast shower, think about the goal you want to set. As soon as the water is turned off, close your eyes, inhale, and then with an intense exhalation, sharply open your eyes and activate the braid at the same time. The goal should still be presently in your thoughts as a background. Now, with an active braid, say clearly and confidently the declaration of your goal, either aloud or silently. For example, here is a good thought form. I am pure, powerful, and awake. I am pure, powerful, and awake. Why pure? Because in a clean body, energy flows in a free, powerful stream. Why powerful? To have the power to open the gates of dreaming. Why awake? In order to really wake up, you can and should ask yourself to be awake. Pay attention to the fingers of your hands. In what position are they? If you manage to concentrate, the fingers will spontaneously fold into certain mudras, combinations, that will correspond to the given goal. You don't need to do anything about it, just observe. If the whole body is imbued with the goal setting, then the goal will be achieved. At the end of the session, do not forget to deactivate the braid. Stay in contact with the spirit. 1. Enter the presence. Pay attention to what it is doing and take control of it. 2. Establish contact with the access point. Raise. Turn or direct the ray of attention to the point of the spirit at an angle of approximately 45 degrees behind and above the back of the head. So the access point is one between the shoulder blades, about 1.5 feet back. You're turning it to point to the one that's coming out of the back of the head at a 45-degree angle. Remember cone heads, so that's the image that you're going for. Declare the thought form of TRE. And 4, to relieve the sensation, to free attention. Remember to turn it off. This is not really a state of the spirit, but only contact with it. We do not close our attention to ourselves. It should not be in the mode of contemplation, but to be able to think. Contemplation is required for decision making and for the cumulative effect, for controlling waking dreams and other functions. Therefore, it will be necessary and sufficient to enter the state of presence and establish contact. If you have practiced waking up in waking dreams and in the spirit, this technique will not be difficult for you. It is better to proclaim a thought form consisting of several sentences united by one meaning in one session. Leave other meanings or goals for other sessions. Do not lump everything together. It is up to you to decide how many such goals you will have. Here we have considered only one task, TRE, transformation, regeneration, and evolution. You can proclaim the TRE thought form in full as you compose it, or in a shortened form in which you yourself feel more power. To begin with, it is better to do it in full. Then when you get used to the content and meaning, you can shorten it as you see fit. For example, renewal, rejuvenation, development, or full regeneration, or an integral frame, transformation, regeneration, and evolution. Proclaim, of course, not mechanically, but consciously, putting meaning and intention into your words. And then during the day, it's imperative to observe yourself and with conviction ascertain progress. It is possible and even desirable to stay in some way in contact with the Spirit. Greedily catch those shifts, and they will happen. Such practice should be done systematically, at least several times a day. It only takes a few seconds. Only do it without strain and without violence against yourself and your spirit. Everything is good in the hunt and in moderation.